And yeah, if you really want to get involved, if you like what we're doing, you want to see this show get made, it's completely funded by NFT sales. And basically, we're crowdfunding using NFTs, where those NFTs that you own could actually be used in our expanded universe of animated shorts that we're building around our main storyline. And then, of course, our main show, which will consist of regular episodes like you would expect normally from a cartoon. All set in this kind of adult, crazy comedy world of Unicorn Detective Agency's kind of, I'd say, Rick and Morty smashed with Adventure Time kind of world. And through that, we're going to make our main storyline about Flynn and friends doing their investigation about the city and the dark secrets of the city, which lead them down this rabbit hole. And then, of course, all the animated shorts we're going to make with the NFT characters that we're releasing at the end of this month that will be fully animated and voice acted and made as little snippets from like a day in the life in the city of Unicornitopia, which is our not so fair city of Unicornitopia, I should say. All right. Just got a little animation up here on the screen, which I did for our Discord community. They wanted a little waving emoji sticker for Discord, so I did one up of Flynn kind of waving off. So now every time you join up, you get a nice welcome greeting from Flynn himself. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Today I'm just basically going to be working on some of our artwork for an upcoming piece that we're working on to release to the public during our run-up to November 30th launch of our NFT collectibles. So yeah, if you're interested in the NFT world or the crypto world, jump on our Discord server. The link is here up on the screen. You can also find it at twitchpixel.com/U, D, A for Unicorn Detective Agency. Otherwise, you can find us on our Twitter, Twitch Pixel Studios, or Twitch Pixel Anim, I should say, for animation. Yeah, and other than that, I'm just going to jump in here and get some work done and show off some of the cool stuff that we've been working on. Some of the stuff courtesy, of course, of my lovely wife sitting right over here, Natalie Harvey.
Hello.
Yeah. She's been working on some awesome backgrounds and environments, so I'm going to show a bit of that off while I get some work done on this upcoming animation. Yeah, so yeah, stoked to have you here. Feel free to hit me up in the chat. I'll be glad to talk to anybody who wants to talk. Just gonna make sure everybody's gotten their notifications out here. It's good. It's out here. And pop out my chat for anyone who wants to talk. Pop up the chat. Pump up the chat. I'll pump it up. Okay, there we go. Got the chat pumped up. As in me by myself on chat for the moment. Shrink down my screen there a bit just to fit the chat in. There we go. All right. There's a lot of fun stuff in this Flynn file too. Some of this stuff's been turned into stickers already. And pouty Flynn. So cute. Whoop, sucked it right back up his nose there. I love doing things backwards sometimes. Oh, jeez. Just messing around with the character model to see how far we can push them. A little leap. Oh, I've got his eye missing there. I might have to fix that. So a lot of this is animation tests with these new rigs we developed for the show specifically, which are far more complex than the rigs for our NFT collectibles. Because again, we are a full-on animated series here. Look at that, double Flynn action. I think that's from our massive set of nodes we have here. We want that one to show. I think we want this one, yes, to hide for now. And if I hit play on that, That loop again. That's our fly character, Flick, at full scale. That was a fun one to do. Another little shorter one here. Start that there. End that there. That was also one of the stickers that we did for our Discord community. They're a lot of fun to use. I like seeing them used by the people in our community because it's like, hey, something I did being used by real people. So awesome. And stop that there. Start that there. Oh, the flashbang, right? That's a good one. All right. So what I'm actually going to do is I've got a couple of other animations I'm working on for something. But I actually have to sort through what Nat's been working on as well to import them together and start animating with them. And that's some of these backgrounds she's been working on. Let's get to the animations first. Discard any changes because I don't want to change anything there. All right. Some of this stuff is pretty good. But these are a couple of characters, the main characters, to say, Flynn and Cornhole, or Cornelius, as we call them. As kids, they grew up in an orphanage together in the mean streets of Mythigan. Yeah, they were orphans. And that has a lot to do with the main storyline as well, which I think is pretty cool. And this is such an adorable representation of them too. Natalie actually went through and kind of de-aged them from our main models, and they just turned out so freaking adorable. They're kind of playing with their own toys of themselves. Yeah, all grown up. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. But there's some animations in here that I need to pull out for these next environments they're working on, starting with this one here. So I'm actually going to try and copy this out of here. And the advantage of Toon Boom is you get your library here, which you can actually share files and individual nodes or characters or even individual assets directly through, which is freaking sweet. In this case, I want to go to Unicorn Dick. I'm going to copy this whole group here. I'm going to paste that in here. And yeah, Flynn Corn tied up. Perfect. Okay. And now I have that in my library. Yep. That's good. So now I can actually open up the next shot that I'm going to work on, which will be these backgrounds. Discard any changes. Sure that's all working nicely. All right, so this is one of the shots that we have that Natalie's been working on, and she's really upped her game in the past year of becoming. Oh, hey Nat, your Flynn animations are the bomb. Yeah, so Nat's really upped her game over the last year, not only just in character design, but environments. She's even getting into animation as well. She used to be just one of our artists, but now she's full on animation. It's come a long way, and this scene is kind of indicative of that. It kind of shows off some of the skill level up she's done for herself, if you will. She's been dinging like crazy. So what we got here is a nice simple scene. There's a lot going on, of course, in the node view, so I'll ignore that for now. But in the camera view, you can see here we've got this really kind of wide frame scene where we can get in nice and close due to the vector graphics, of course, which is going to allow us to do a lot of shots and panning. But it's more than that too, because we also get the advantage of this entire scene being built in the full 3D perspective. So if I zoom out here, you can see when I zoom in, we get the proper parallax of things. And if I use these tools, you can kind of zoom around and see how we have our scenes set up with each other. Which to me is just, as an animator, makes it so much easier. I can do so much more now. I can set up shots. I can test shots before doing them. I can see the proper parallax and depth of field as I'm zooming in and out. We can do a lot more cheating and stuff and hiding things behind things. And there's a lot more power to it, of course. On top of that nice parallax, which feels like you're zooming into a real 3D environment. And these adorable little fish. The piranha, the chocolate piranha. Who doesn't like a river of chocolate? Yes, it's chocolate, not the other thing. Although I wouldn't put it past the people in this city to make a not chocolate river. Yeah, so you get a lot of movement out of the range when you do it this way. Of course, you're going to have a locked camera, more orthographic like this. Block off the scene, you'll get your shot, which kind of fills in more nicely like that. And we can zoom in and out of throughout the scene, which is super cool, especially when you go here. Let me just grab all of this. All of that too. Throw it on a pin. And then we go here to our top view. And with that selected, should be able to move through it. So as you can see, you get much more of a nice parallax effect. The world kind of comes together a little more when you do it this way. So yeah, it's just one of the scenes she's been working on in the background. One of her finer pieces she's done to date for the show, and she's defining the style of our world, both inside the city, outside the city, and even under the city, in what we call the underbelly, which is essentially like the seedy place where all the garbage flows into the veins of the heart-shaped planet, kind of polluting the world. So there's a lot of satire and social satire in the show as well. Getting hit up on Discord here. Sorry, guys. Quick read through. Talking to the gang, trying to get people to come join in and watch. All right. So essentially, I got to get these characters into here now. So at this point, we've got our shot kind of lined up. I know where I want my characters to be. They're going to be kind of situated right here, hanging from the hole in the bridge. Let's get everything back to where I originally had it. Okay. Now, let's see those characters. So when I write to modify, we got Flynn and Corn tied up. So back to my node view. I'm going to take everything here, except this and this. And I'm going to group it. And create a new composite. Which plugs into, but then these plug into like that. And now I can bring in the new Cornhole and Flynn all tied up. Start working them into the scene. At this point, I'm pretty sure I don't need this transparency though. And that's not what I'm looking for. So I really need to extend this scene out because I remember that they're way down here with their animations. So what we want to do is find where I have all that stuff. Here we go. I think it's this one here we want. No, it's this one here that I want. Right there. So starting here. That up. collapse a lot of this stuff. So that's going to be group that. That's going to be the final peg there. And then that should be the environment group. So I'm going to rename that. Environment. It took me years to not call it environment. It's environment. Okay, so with that there, I want to take all of these frames from here, probably right here. Now I'm going to take all these, and here's another quick tease for the shot that she worked on next. I'm just moving them out of the way now for my own reference. Make sure I turn off that and come back here. So what I want to do here is paste in those frames. So now I've got all of these guys hanging out here, but I lose my background. So what I want to do is then extend my backgrounds. Now we have these two schmucks hanging out on a rope. It's exactly what we want, just not positioned in the right place. So, super advantage to how we have Toon Boom set up is that we can easily scale them and reposition them just with a bit of work on a peg, a single peg. Want them. I think right about there. Now we realize our fish are a bit too big, so we'll scale them down. Throw them back into the water. We're going to want to find them in that perspective view, I think. And we need to toggle what's called 3D. Turn that on. So let's find them here. I saw M piranhas. I thought it said Mr. Piranhas. That would have been awesome. It is Mr. Piranha. And I'm actually going to pull them out and give them a peg here, just to make it easier on myself. Pegs are cool because it separates the art from the motion, so you can actually put all your keyframes of where things move on a peg separate from the art. That way you don't destroy the art while animating. And then you can use it for a lot more like puppet cutout rigging and stuff like that. So in this case, I do want to go into the perspective, make sure that Enable 3D is turned on everything. Perfect. Now in my perspective view, I can spin around here, move these fishies down. So that guy should just be coming out of the water. He should be just in front of Flynn and Cornelius. And that's a bit off screen, so I'll pull him back a bit. Right about there. That's perfect. Okay, that's more like it. Now we got them hanging there and animated over top of the fish, which is great. This is the first time I've seen this scene come together from my brain to screen, and it is amazing. Oh, it turned out so good. You should come check this out, Nat. It turned out pretty good. I'm gonna hide this over here. Zoom in a little. Here, let's close all this. Oops, wrong way. Want that closed there. Let's close this down here. And really,
wow.
Really zoom in there.
Nice.
Right. Okay, hold on. Let's get this. Yeah, because now I can do the. So I'll have to work on the rope at the connection at the top.
Oh yeah.
But overall, like, yeah, it looks so awesome.
Oh.
Once I get the bones on the fish there and everything.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah, so that's the first shot we got going now. Of course, we'll have like an epic zoom in on them, you know, like, boom, and then he'll be like, damn it, damn it. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, so now it's time to get all the finicky stuff out of the way. So now I usually start just by breaking down all the issues that I'm seeing. Very much so like the rope at the top where it's not really connecting right. We have the rope definitely here in front, which is exactly what we want, but we want to make sure that when it pivots, it doesn't do that, where it kind of loses its pivot point. So to do that, I'm going to have to probably manually frame by frame it on a new peg to hold a new bit of movement information, just to hold it on that spot. Now, ideally, I would have had all this set up prior with the background and everything, but I didn't have the background when I did the animation. I just knew what the animation needed to be. So I got that done, and then now I'm going to come in and just tweak it to fix this. So. Not first, destroy this dry mouth.
Destroy your dry mouth.
Yeah, it sounded like an ad. Destroy your dry mouth today. Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, just getting some word back from our partners over at Flare Finance. Awesome team. They've been instrumental in getting us into the NFT space, and I highly suggest you check out Flare.finance. They're trying to bring transparency and accountability to creators and give buyers of NFTs more security over their purchases. And it's something we're really adamant about, is being kind of forthcoming with all that information and being honest and transparent. And they hit all of our moral points the first time we discussed things with them. So we just jumped on board with them, and yeah, they're awesome. But they're helping us build our smart contract and getting our campaign up and running for you guys. It's going to launch at the end of the month. So he's just coming through with a bunch of new art assets and pre-generated test stuff for our characters and our NFTs, and they look amazing. All right, just catching up with him now. Yeah, there's so much good stuff. All right, back to this animation. So I know I need a few things, so I'm just going to open up Notepad and make a list here. The rope needs to be pinned to the bridge. Bridge. Love those silent letters. Bridge. What else? Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to add bones. Sorry, first I have to separate the fish on 2 layers and add bones. So essentially what I want to do is make sure I can have the mouth opening and closing and have the fish jumping up out of the water kind of wiggling, as well as kind of maybe even a couple of eye blinks. So maybe I'll throw an eye blink in there for them. And then I can duplicate that character a couple of times. And then we have our 3 fish. So that's, and then of course add those bones. That really then I can animate and spruce up the scene with that. What else am I gonna need here? Probably at some point, and I probably won't get that to that today, but I want that river to have a bit of a flowy effect, which we can do with probably some sprites or a couple of drawing substitutions right in Harmony on the river layer directly. So I'm gonna be able to do that, or I might even be able to do another thing with masks and a cutter, which allow me to kind of just move that flow look through that the shape of the river going into the distance there. So yeah, river flow effect. So I'll just make a note for myself, perhaps cutter texture animation. Now ideally I can avoid the frame by frame loop, but it always ends up looking better when you do the frame by frame loop. So it's kind of a toss up which we want to do, but we'll figure that out down the road. Okay, starting with, I think I'm going to start by breaking these fish apart. That's going to be the chunk of work, I think. So essentially I want to find them in my network view here. And these networks can get very complicated, as one can see. That's the Choco Ground River. There's my piranhas. I'm actually going to cut them out of there. And we're going to throw them up here as if they're their own new rig. We'll throw them in here above everybody there. That's going to be a bit easier for me because now I can break them down by adding some layers. So I know my fish is going to need mouth open and close variation. You know what? It's probably just the eye I need to remove. No, the fin. Probably do the fin. The tail and the body can all be one thing. And for the body, we can probably just make a mouth open and a mouth closed variation. So I'll do the fin and the eye and the eyebrow. So I'm going to need Control R, body base. Let's start with Perhana. I don't even know how to spell it. Perhana dash body base. Do Perhana dash fin. Perhana dash eye base. Perhana dash pupil. And Perhana dash eyebrow. Pose. Alright, so on body base, everything will be connected to. The fin will go above the body base. I have the eyebrow above the eye. We have the eye base and the eye pupil. And that's how the whole body rig is going to work. This body base will probably have two variations, one with the mouth open, one with mouth closed, maybe three, one open, half open and closed. That'll probably look a bit better. So I'll start with that once I get there. But first, what we want to do, nice and easy, is group these. And then go group, ungroup. Now I have it on a composite together, which is what I want. And now I can kind of order these how I want. The body base obviously needs to be at the bottom. Pupil is going to be in front of everything, as it needs to be, but I'll use a cutter. I'll use a cutter for the eye shape so that the pupil can't be seen outside of the eye. And then the eyebrow, of course, goes above both of those at the very top. Like that. Right, and then we got that fin, which is going to be above the body, probably below the eye. So that's exactly where it needs to be. Perfect. So now what I want to do is Control-Shift-P for adding a peg to everything. Also going to want to go through every single one of these and turn on this stupid enable 3D layers. So let's just open them all. Turn that on, close, 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 rinse and repeat. And that is it. Double check. Yes. Make sure I got this one here. Yes. Okay, good. And of course, now we can start connecting these. So I know that the body is going to be the base for everything. So the body and the fin need to be connected. Then the body has to connect to the eyebrow, but actually I'm going to do something a little bit better here. I'm going to do another peg. I'm going to call this eye peg. That will connect to the base of the body. Then that will connect to the eyebrow, eye base, and eye pupil. But actually we want the eye base and the pupil to move together, but then have the pupil be able to move around in the eye separately. So there's our full character rig there. Bring this up here and snap that into the composite like that. Now what I can do is I can go to this layer and I can start taking these assets off of here. So in this case, I'm going to grab all of this guy. Make sure I have that turned on. Okay, go to front of body base. Now I'm going to turn on these two so I can see just the one I'm working on. So that'll be the guy below him. That's exactly what I need. So now I can go like this and select these items. Go to eye base, put that there. Going to grab the eyebrow, put that on the eyebrow layer. And then back to the eye base, grab that pupil, cut it out of there. Pupil layer, and now I just have to fix this in the eye base here. Which I think I'll just delete that inner eye thing. And grab that color. and drop it back in. Now for the eye, I need to do one more thing. Oop, I hit the play button. Oh, there it was. There we go. That's where it was working. So one more thing for this eye base is I want to copy this out, and I'm actually going to put it in the underlay layer as well. There's these 3 layers for every drawing layer. So every one of these blue nodes, it has an overlay, a line art, color art, and underlay layer. And in the underlay layer, I put that there because I'm going to use that as my mask or my cutter later, where I tell it to check for the underlay layer, whatever's in there, make sure that people can't be seen outside of that area. And that's what essentially what that does. Okay. That done. Last thing I need now is back to the body layer. I want to take this fin. Oh, it's all one piece. Right, that's because the body color is all one piece. So what I want to do is take the body color out of there for a minute. Cut that out of there. Cut that out. And throw that right there. And then we do what we call as a stroke, which is basically an invisible line. And we'll go from here all the way to here. It says I can't see it, but it is there. I assure you it is there. I just have to press a K to see it. It's a shortcut. And now I want to go back to the body. I want to make sure I select the proper skin color. Now I can go back to that fin and I can drop that color in. And there we go. Now we technically have that there. Now I just got to make sure I fix up his body here. Bring that over here. Let's make it a bit more curved, just so it's got a bit of a curve to it. There we go. Now I can actually delete that. I don't need it. And I want to drop that color into there. Except I want to make sure I'm closing the gaps. Maybe just small gaps. Two of them can be a bit finicky when coloring. But you can just cheat with the paint behind brush. Oh, except the brush is huge. Too much brush. Fill that in there. Any other spots? Yep, down here. There we go. Now I can get rid of this black spot there. And let's grab this and pull it down out of there. So it looks good like that. And then let's fix this here. So that looks like it's supposed to be more like that. There we go. Oh my god, it's off center! Ching! Fixed. Oh, sup, Aram? You join the chat. Yeah. Aram is way out in Europe from me. I'm up in Canada, so it's got to be late for him right now. But he's part of our project, and he's done an amazing job at bringing a lot of this technical side to life. While we're focused on the art and animation, which has been just so useful to us since we're artists mainly. So, makes sense. One last peg there for the main body peg. Okay, so we've got our character broke down by his body base. We've got his fin, we've got his pupil, we've got his eye, and we got his eyebrow. Exactly what we want. They all seem to be ordered correctly. I should see them properly when I come out, and I can select them all individually here. If I turn the peg mode on for my selection tool, which allows me to select only the green ones, the pegs here, I can actually grab them by their peg. And if I turn animate back on, those pegs can let me move this stuff around as needed. So now I want to make sure I get this pupil being cut by the eye. So that's the next step here. So I have to get what's called a cutter. I also have to get a underlay layer isolate node, which means it's going to isolate just whatever art is in the underlay layer in the eye base, which if you remember, when I back here, I copied this from the line art layer. As you can see, it's not on the color layer, it's not on the overlay layer, it's in the line art, which is also on the underlay layer. So it's going to pull that out for me. I'm going to use that as a cutter, but I have to invert that cutter. And you can either double click here or you can open it and hit inverted. And then this becomes the pipe from my pupil. So my pupil goes into here instead, and then this cutter comes out into here. I don't know where that's going. It shouldn't be going. And as long as that's in front of that, now I should be able to see it. No problem. But if I grab the pupil and I move it, you can see it will always disappear outside of the eye, so you'll never have a problem of it appearing when you move it off the eye. And you can go cross-eyed and do other cute stuff too. And any blinks and stuff, I just have to make sure I do the same thing on that underlay layer, only put where I want the eye to be seen on the underlay layer as his eye gets closer and closed. And then once it's fully closed, I can just not have anything in the underlay layer because it won't try to show it through that like a mask. But yeah, so far so good. It's got him as a separate object now. So in that original art layer, this one here, I think that's the line art. It's all of them. Make sure I'm. Oh, there we go. I can actually delete this guy. He no longer needs to be there. I'm just going to put these up here so I can see them and remember that I need to animate them later. Yeah, okay, so now we've got our scene. Let's go back over to that perspective view. Check where I have my little fishy. There he is. So he's kind of there floating in space by himself. So now I need to make some what we call drawing substitutions, which is essentially like, it's mostly used for things like lip syncing, where you have different drawings that change out over time in rapid succession in order to show someone talking and make it look like their mouths are actually changing and morphing. And for him, I need to do that so he has an open mouth and a closed mouth, probably an in-between as well. So that's all going to happen on his body layer. So deselect all that, go back to him, jump over to my node view. And on this body layer here, I can hit this little button down here called duplicate drawing. So essentially it's going to take this number right here, will then jump to 2 as I now have 2 different drawing substitutions in that layer. And I can switch back and forth between them over time as I see fit. But the second one needs a modification. Like I said, we have to have a half closed mouth and then a fully closed mouth. So let's move this over, giving me some more space to work with. Stop looking at the crotches of both my main characters. Okay, back to this. Just that right there. I'm on drawing 2, so I know I can just edit away as I see fit. So I'm going to grab all of these teeth here. Move them out of the way for now. Grab this tool. Let's do some cleanup here. Make my life a bit easier. Then I'm going to take this main drawing tool, and grab all of these lines. I'm going to rotate them like that. Same with these. Rotate them like that. Okay, clearly you need to get rid of that and that. Bit of cleanup here. Don't need all these extra pieces. And here we'll do the same. That can go. That can go. Okay, so now I'm going to grab this, bring it up. Probably delete all of that. Let's go back to make sure that looks proper. Yep. Good. And do the same here. I feel like that needs to have proper end cap on it. There we go, rounded. And then we can actually sneak it back a bit. Go. And now we want to work with these here. So we've got this fish we've been working on here. I'll just skim through here. Last thing we did was we made a half closed mouth from the open mouth on the body. And now we're just going to work on the fully closed mouth to get this little loop animation we can reuse over and over again to kind of make them snapping at them above them complete. You've got one ear in at all times, yeah? Okay, good, thank you. So yeah, I can actually go ahead and delete most of the stuff that's hidden back here because it's not going to be used anymore. Hold on, I should move my mic so I don't get me rattling around. Hopefully that mic's not right in view of my face. Oh, good. Excellent. Move this up a bit. There you guys go. Hi, everybody. I'm back. Okay, so their tech support's getting back to me right now. We'll see how it goes. But as long as everyone can still hear me and see me, I think Nat's got it up there streaming. Good, good. We're good to go. I didn't have to shut down, which was nice. So here we go. Back into it. Technology is supposed to make life easier. It's okay. I can roll with the punches, even if they feel like they're directly to my groin. His mouth would kind of be more like over bitey, I think. Maybe right about there. And bring that out a bit more like that. All of this junk. Delete. Deleted. 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 There we go. And he's got open, half closed, closed. Ow! 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 I freaking love animation. It's so fun seeing it be like just an image and then like back to like life all of a sudden. Okay, so let's bring this timeline up here. So I'm now realizing I've only got these guys on this one frame here, and we want them to extend all the way across. Mr. Piranhas. Both of these should now be all the way back here and extend all the way out to here. Right here is where I want them. Yes. Okay. So that should be my entire character right there by himself. All by his lonesome. I'm noticing his pivot point is way up there, so let's move it to down here. Right dead center on his body there. Should be easier to work with now. Alright, so I got my one fish. The other two seem to be basically identical, except they got some chocolate splashes on them, so we will probably just reuse this guy. Maybe not. I kind of like this closed eye guy.
He's pretty cute.
He's pretty cute. I think there's chocolate on them too, but I might have to do away with some of that just to keep it a bit simpler. But overall, it looks pretty good. That. Always save. Boy, did I miss that a couple of times. Not fun. Okay. Okay, so next up, I'm going to want to now make sure I get some bones on the body. So this guy right here, I want to make him be able to flop around like a fish. So I'm going to go into my bone editing here. I'm going to set my root point here. And I'm going to come back like this and do a separate one like this. Oops. And that should give me most of what I need. I may need a third point there. Let's see. Let's see, shall we? Yeah, see how that's kind of messing it up if I do too much with it? That's not so bad, but... So I'm going to use a different type of bones here. Set my initial point. I'm going to click now instead. And I'm going to click here and then click here. And what that allows me to do now is take this, put it, oops, way down here, just at this pivot point here. Take this, probably move this out of the way a bit more and make this as big as possible. Bring it up and bring it out. And now we'll try that. See if that works a bit better. That's a bit better. Yes, much better. And then he can do that as well as he can do that. But I'm thinking now, I actually want it reversed. I want my main pivot at the top. So I'm going to do the same thing, but in reverse here. It's selected. I'm going to start with my root up here. And I'm going to go down to my core, my tail, and my final bone. And I can take my tail core, bring it down like that, and I can scale this bad boy up to fit as much of him in as possible. This is basically what defines what we call zone of influence. So whatever's outside that zone will stretch a bit more and skew a bit more, and it can break things sometimes. But overall, it's looking good. Probably put that more like that. And then that can just reach out to the end of the tail like so. Now we should have some nice tail waggy action. Oh my god, that's so cute! Okay, undo that. I do want to edit this a little. Scale this down just a tiny bit. Place it over there so that I can bring this and make it a bit bigger. That way the tail will break less. Yeah, there we go. And then I should be able to do that. And then, of course, this. Which is everything I need, realistically, to animate this guy. I'm actually going to bring him up like this. That more right there. Scale him out a little more. Just want to get those teeth in there properly. That way when I do this, yeah, there we go. Now he's like a fish out of water. So now I'm just going to make sure that I actually have him connected properly to the rest of his pieces. In this case, it's going to require what's called a kinematic output, which is essentially saying, if I move this bone, I want the eye to move with it, but I don't want the eye to get stretched and molded and morphed by it. I just want the eye to move with the bone. And that's what we, in Toon Boom Harmony's words, are called kinematic outputs. So in here, I got to find the bone that I want, which in this case is this second bone here, which you can see right here. And I add what's called a kinematic output, not the 3D, just the regular one. And I drag another pipe out from it, all the way out to my top level character rig here. And now from this, anything I add to this, it will move with the body, but it won't deform with the body. So in this case, I'm going to grab the entire eye peg layer, and then of course the piranha fin, and that should encompass everything now. So if I come back here now and I move this, you'll see his eye moves with it. Not exactly how I wanted, but for the purposes of what I'm doing, I'll just have to move the eye around as I animate. I want that there, I do want that there, I don't want that there. Yeah, so that's fine. I'm just going to see what the eye looks like without the kinematic output. Maybe it won't morph as much as I think. Oh no, see, that's fine. I'll leave it like that, but I will have the fin on that kinematic output. So I believe the fin itself would probably look a little wonky without it. No, it does the same thing. Wait, that was the same one. Sorry. That's what I wanted. Yeah, the fin deforms a little weird, so I prefer to have it separate. It's pretty central to the point, so when it moves, it actually looks pretty good when it moves just by default. So I'll just keep it like that. Okay, so let's take any keyframes I put there off of there. Save this. Now I have my base rig ready to go. He's good to animate. I have the over time that I can make his mouth open and close. So actually what I'll do is I'll do that right now. Turn off peg mode. And I know my first frame his mouth is open. Second frame, let's have his mouth close a little. Third frame, let's have his mouth close. Oh, actually doing it on twos, so I'm going to undo that. If you're not an animator, doing things on twos versus ones can be a little confusing, but essentially there's a frame or image change or movement change every second frame, and it holds for 2 frames every single time that makes a change. So that's the difference between ones and twos. Twos are more for television, ones are more for like Disney quality cinematic animation and other specific use cases. So I'm going to go 2 frames forward, so it's going to hold for 2 frames, and on this frame I'm going to switch it to the half closed mouth, and then the third, fourth frame, all the way closed mouth, and he'll hold that for a couple frames, and he'll open up again, and now he's back to open. So now we have this whole help. And then I can of course animate and move him with the bones and make him kind of wiggle and squiggle and wag his little tail over time. That's a basic rundown of our basic characters. I can then, of course, also use peg mode here, and I can move his fin anywhere I want it. In this case, we still have to move its pivot point. So I'll go to this tool. I'll bring its pivot point down. Oh, that was almost spot on. And we're going to want to put it like right there. Now I can go back to my animation tool, and anytime I want to rotate or pivot, I can do that. Same will go for the eye. Make sure we get all these pivots done correctly. It's actually a quicker tool. Where'd my fish go? Oh. There he is. Plonk that there. Eye base. Plonk that there. Eyebrow. Always plonk that at the back. It's fin, which I already did, but I'll do it anyways. Plonk that there. And body base should be right around the tail's pivot point there. And there's one last thing I can do, which is slide this up all the way to the top, and I want to say apply embedded pivot on parent peg. So basically that's saying wherever I have the pivot point, in this case on the body right here on the tail, make sure that the peg that's attached to it up above inherits that, so that it keeps the same pivot location when you're using animating and doing things. So in this case we've got that. I'm going to do that here as well. Apply on parent peg. Apply on parent peg. I think I already did this one. Oh, apply on parent peg. Perfect. Those are all my drawing layers done. So now he is 100% ready for animation. Okay. I made that 100% because I forgot to do with eye blink, which I'm going to do right now. Turn off peg mode. Back to the eye base. In this case, we're going to duplicate this drawing. So now we have 2 of them. I know I'm working on the second one. Now I can go to this and start chipping away at it. More like that. And then we just want to finish up that line work. Whoop. Whoa! Too big. 2 maybe? Maybe 3? That seems a bit too small. I think it's 5. Oh, that's too big. So it's got to be 3. There we go. Now, now I have to go back into there before I forget. And let's redo that line since I Accidentally deleted it. One thing I forgot to do was copy all of this, delete it out of the underlay layer for my mask, and now that eye closing will automatically cut the pupil off appropriately. Yay, fun. Okay. Strato has joined the chat. Welcome, Strato! Let's say hello in the actual chat. Hello, Michael Maffrey. Hello. Henlo. It's Henlo. I didn't realize it was Henlo. We're getting fancy here. Be sure to hit that appreciate button. I mean, slam that subscribe button, hit that appreciate button, hit that thumbs up, do all the things that people say you're supposed to hit and smash. Well, it's a very violent world out there. Can you just gently caress my subscribe button? Maybe give a nice, soft touch, loving touch to my appreciate button. Well, that sounded a lot dirtier than I thought it would. A little bit. Save. Always save. Okay, so I've got his half eye closed, and then Natalie already did a nice, hilarious eye close here, so I'm literally going to rip this off. I think that's on the line art layer. Yeah, there you go. Control-C that out of there. Get out of here. I'm going to grab that. Create new drawing. Now there's 3 drawings there. And on this drawing, on the line art layer, oh, it's going to paste it way down there, isn't it? Yeah, it does. Mike's having fun in the chat over here. Mike's also one of our awesome, talented artists, and he's been basically, I don't know, one of me and Nat's best friends for the past almost a decade now, maybe longer now. I think we determined it was much longer. Well, since Lost Hope. He was the founder of Gaming Wildlife on YouTube at the time, and he had found us because he liked what we were doing. He reached out. Founders gotta find. All right, so there's our closed eye layer. Now on this layer, I can actually delete this out of here because I don't want the people seeing it all through the cutter, and since it's pulling out just from the underlay layer where it's allowed to show and nothing's in there, now it won't show. So with his eyes closed, he's now got it there. If I open his eye back up again, it shows the pupil all the way up, and there you go. Now we've got the eye blink too. So let's take this eye blink and let's add it to our chomp. So let's have him close his eye while he chomps. And then he's going to hold that for a few frames, and then he opens back up. And he's back to open again. There we go. Let's hide all these bones to make it a little clearer. I lost him. There he is. Let's just have a quick, here, I'll loop that and see how it looks. 20 frames, I'd say. Stop. There you go. Help. 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 Should probably have his eyebrow moved down with the eye closed. It would look a little better. Right? And with what, like 15-20 minutes we managed to get that all working? So I'm going to go here. I know I'm going to want to take this now on its peg layer. And we're going to want to rotate it downward. And then we're going to go 2 more forward. And with it fully closed, we can... Oh, too much. I'm going to have it just about there. And then I can go to this official layer, which is the Piranha eyebrow layer. And this is what I love about Toon Boom, is you can dig down into the layers and you can remove or re-add or change animation on specific things while retaining all the parents' animation and their child's animation as well. So it becomes really powerful. So I'm going to want that back when he opens up right here. And then back to normal when he's fully open again. There we go. Now if I loop that. Oh, that's funny. I like it. Turning out pretty good. You know, I'll rotate it this way so it's more like a normal character. How? All right. So now if I select the body again and I show that deformer chain, I can actually add some like fish wiggle over time. I'm gonna give myself, what we got, 15 frames here right now. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, 15 frames. So I'll have him wiggle from one position back to the other. So what I can do, select just the bone structure specifically. If I open this up, you can see how it's broken down. You see how our bones, each bone is a parent of the other bone. So it's bone 1, bone 2, bone 3, and then the schematic output that I built there. And this is the root bone, essentially. And each one can have its own keyframes on it in the timeline. And if I don't like the way I made one bone move, I can delete its animation and redo it without affecting the other bones. Super powerful in the long run. Can also get super confusing when you have a lot of movement going on and a lot of bones moving, but it's about finding that balance. Okay, so in this case, I'm actually going to collapse the bones so that I have just this main bone selected, but all of them under it down here in my layers are collapsed, and that's so that it adds keyframes on all the layers that are closed. If you have anything open, it'll only add it on the layer you have selected. So that becomes super powerful too in animation, because then you can do a bunch of animation on a bunch of pieces all at the same time without having to have to go and hand do it for each one. And in this case, I'm going to set my base keyframe here. It's going to go up and come down around number 10 or 11 frames there. So we got our, make sure I got this correct. There's a 2 there, 2 there, 2 there. Yeah, so they'll be there, 11. So it comes back to the beginning. And then I can go kind of to the middle here. And I can change him up a little. In this case, we'll go like this. And we'll have his tail kind of down. And we'll grab piranha fin here, which for some reason has that way down there. I know it's supposed to be up here. I should be able to go back here. Here we go. So that's going down. So let's have him rotate its fin out like this. Maybe move it up a little. So now I can take these animated frames and I can interpolate, which is essentially doing the in-betweens. And there used to be entire teams at Disney and all these other major studios that would be dedicated just to all these in-between drawings, which are actually less quality because you don't have to worry as much because they're seen for few frames. And those are always in between the keyframes, which are the key strong poses that your eye actually sees for a longer period. And with that, this kind of automated system in Toon Boom kind of does a lot of the work that used to be done by these huge teams. So now I just want to make sure that I'm getting a bit of timing in here. So that he settles nicely and moves in and out of that movement nicely. So now I have this, set that to our final frame. Got this little kind of snippy loop. Oh, that's so good. And now I just need to make them jump out of the water and then snap at them and then drop back down. So, yeah, turned out pretty good. So let's zoom this guy out. Shift X spins my scene around. And of course, because I've got all these frames in there now, I want to make sure I set keyframes for each of them. So I'm just going to go over them. There's two ways to do this. I can do it by hand by selecting each one and hitting F6. The other way to do it is to select the whole section. There's a little handy button here, create keyframes on. I set them every 2 frames because, like I said, we're animating on 2s. And then I hit OK, and it'll just run through. It'll remove all the interpolation and make them individual keyframes on each frame, which basically is like baking the information in onto those pegs to make sure that they only change when I want them to. Yeah, so now we have that whole thing set up. We got Flynn and Cornelius up there hanging out. Let's just watch this whole thing again. Let's hit the stop there. Let's turn off this. Let's lower this so you can get a better view of everything. Minimize that over there. There we go. This is what we got so far. We got a little fish animation at the bottom there. A little bit of them hanging from The bridge all ticked off at each other. Yeah, so far so good. Okay, so I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna try and fix this. I also noticed I don't have much room down below my characters here for them to be, for the fish to jump out of the water and come at them. So I'm gonna actually move the whole thing up and out of the way. Let's open this back up again. In this case, we want this peg, and we want it moved up. They should be hanging right about here, I think. Then I'm going to grab this guy, rope string, and create a new peg on this just to save myself some hassle. And on that peg specifically, which I'll jump to. Uh-oh, I may have crashed my Toon Boom. Yep. I crashed my Toon Boom. Can you still hear me on the stream though? Okay, good. We'll be back in a second, people. That's the first time I've done that in a long time. Good thing I just saved. Okay. Harmony is back open again. Let me just share the screen with everybody. There we go. Update my stream for you guys. Good. Okay. This time, hopefully I won't crash it. So where was I? I was in here, right? Let's double check that all my work is saved. We should have the fish doing his thing. Oh no, his eye blink. It's all the way back before his eye blink in animation. Yep. As is tradition. Okay. So I'm just going to whip through this real quick, guys. I know a lot of you have already seen this, so. Two. We'll make the eye closed, which is version of this character's face. Grab that, Control C, and make this a new drawing. I'm going to paste it in here, and that's going to be way down here, of course. If we turn this stuff on so I can make sure I'm working on the right layer. Oof. Really hope Lightstream figures that stuff out. It's a paid service, so I'd hope that it gets solved. I mean, I really like it. They do a great job of setup and allowing us to do the interface and everything, but if it can't stream regularly and keep the stream going, then kind of misses the mark. Misses the mark. Okay, so got that back in. Hit Control S to save. That is the eye close. And then we hold for a few frames, and then we open that eye back up all the way. Okay, save that. Back to my Abra, which we can minimize here. My basic frame right there. It's going to go down there. And then we're going to go over two more. And then we're going to repeat that as we come back out of it. So we have 6 to there. That should be right there. And this one here should be there. And the last one should be right there. Okay. Save that. Now we can go back to that body, turn on the bones, and do the same thing there. Have our start position. And we know that start position will also be our end position. And in between, we wanted to have his body like that, his tail down like that, and this little bad boy here, with its proper pivot point again. And we're going to rotate him out like that. Then we hit F6 there. Do our in-betweening, our interpolation, I should say. And then F6 there. That means it'll ease in now with a slower movement off the bat to a quicker movement to its final resting place. And then we want to ease out back here and ease in from here. And that gets us a really cheap, easy ease. Easy ease. That wasn't intentional, but I'll take it. All right, and then again, I want to make sure these are all on 2s and all keyframed for every single layer. So I just do that. They turn from white keyframes to black keyframes, or black dots, I should say. And that allows me to, I want to loop this entire animation over and over and over again, all the way through. We're going to stop that animation right there. And now I can save that, zoom out. Sorry, my phone started going crazy. So I zoom out here. Let's have a quick watch on loop. Yeah, look at the little fish down there. He's hungry. Just can't reach them. They're so close, but I can't reach. Look how unsatisfied Cornelius looks too. Flynn just always looks unsatisfied, but okay. So now I can save that. Go back into here, find my rope string, add a new peg like I wanted. And now save here, because now I'm going to do the same thing that crashed the last time, and hopefully it doesn't. And it didn't. Yay, we're back on track. So that should be, let's minimize this information, bring this out. Rope string peg peg, secondary. As you can see, there's no keyframes on this rope string peg because I just created it, which allows me to add new animation to it. And in this case, I'm going to set a new pivot point for it. I want this peg's pivot point to be right here. And that being said, I'm going to go to this art layer here. I'm going to cheat a little by making a little reference point for myself. I always do this. Yeah, that's a default color. Why not? Let's use this color for sure. That'll work. So if I go back to this, it needs to be at the tip of that point. So what I'm going to do here is make a splotch right there. That's where I'm going to want my rope basically to be sitting at all times. And having this reference point, I'm going to actually move it over a little so it looks like it's kind of sitting inside of this crack there instead. But now I can always move the rope right to that spot to keep it right where I want it. So now I can go to this rope string. I can set its default position to right here. And then I can just step through. As you can see, it's starting to shift from my previous animation that I animated. So I'm just Stepping it back into place in each frame. And this part can get tedious at times, but it's definitely worth the effort because you get it just a nice clean image. I'll also be doing a little bit of a cheat up here where I draw a little kind of nub of rope above it so you can't really see the any breakages or anything that happen behind it. We do that a lot in animation. There's a lot of things like the typical cartoon style thing where you pull like a gun out of your back pocket, but you don't even have a back pocket, just from behind you, and suddenly he has it. All those kind of little things go a long way, saving our brains a lot of freaking work. Okay, I think that's it. That settles them out now. So I should be able to now zoom back, and on every frame, no, am I back?
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay. Okay. I want to double check now. Sorry, I've just got Lightstream's tech support chatting at me at the same time. Okay, back to this. So now, yeah, they swing properly on that one pivot point, so they won't move around. The rope won't move around inappropriately there. So now when I hit play, it looks more proper, like they're actually pinned to that bridge there. Yeah, okay. So let's do that little final piece where we kind of hide the rope behind it. I don't need that reference point anymore, so I can go back to this drawing. I can delete this bright blue thing. And I might be okay, actually, to not draw it. No, because you do see the sky right there. So an easy win for this is to hit Control-R, rope, we'll call it knot. I'm going to want rope knot to be attached to the main peg, home peg, and it'll be in front of rope string. That's the way these nodes work for the composites, is from left to right is the stack, so whatever on the left is at the very, very top of the stack, just like in Photoshop, whatever the top layer is, and then the very bottom layer in Photoshop, or in this case the stack, would be the whatever node is plugged on the far right. But now I have this extra rope knot drawing layer there, I'll attach to everything, so it should move with it, but it won't move with the rope string itself. So now I want to go in here, I should go to the rope string, cut a piece of that rope string. Let's take this chunk here and copy it. Go here, and then I can really cheat it. First thing I want to do, grab that color there. Let's finish this line off, but let's make it 20. Grab some of this junk, drag her down. There we go. Nice. Now I can totally just mess around with this and make it look like a knot. V. Throw that back to range, send it back. And let's do one more like that. And there you go, you got a little knot. That's all it takes. Throw that up there. Let's have it look like it's connecting through one of these holes. Like that. Now it's caught up there. So when I hit play, oh, it disappears because I only put it on one single frame, but it'll pop up there. There it goes. So where did I put that? Right there. Okay. Grab that layer. Find it in the layer stack. There we go. See, it's down here. It's only one tiny little lone drawing. So we need to extend that by dragging it way back to the beginning. And I think we wanted to go as far as here. Yeah, right there. 5. Okay. Now I should be able to. Oh, see, now it's moving with that layer. So what I want to do is actually unplug it from the main one. Where'd that drawing go? It's way up there now. Huge. The pivot point's way off. Stay right there, my friend. And let's make it a bit smaller. Let's even skewish it a little, actually. A bit too much. Okay, hopefully that keeps it where it's supposed to be. There we go. And that was because I had one peg in here. I had it plugged into this peg, but this peg apparently has animation applied to it that it tried adding to this peg here that it was originally parented as, that right there. Of course, now it disappears because it's in a whole totally different place when attached to that peg. When I plug this back in, it goes and takes over. No animation on that peg, so it just looks like a knot hanging there. And now I can play. And it looks right. Awesome. And of course, we still have our fish down there doing his little chomp chomp. Let's minimize this. Let's get in there. Watch these guys up close. Oh, timeline. Play. There he is. So good. All right. Save that. Looking good. Okay. So let me think here, see if there's anything I'm missing. I think that's everything I needed for this shot, besides the actual camera move, but that relies on the previous shot. So I won't do any of that stuff until I have the previous shot sussed, because that's going to start out exactly where I need to have these guys positioned before I bring them into frame. Yeah, overall pretty good. I will add the fish animation, but again, because the shot's going to be moving, I want to make sure that I frame them properly. So I've got everything I need as my base movement. It's kind of a prep work for full animation at this point, and I got their main animation of them swinging done. For this shot. It's a quick shot, so it's not too much going on into it. But overall, that's everything we needed. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now for today. That I'm gonna leave off. There's a lot more behind the scenes. Nat's actually working on something right now. Wish I could show you guys right now because it looks so good. But it's actually kind of a nod back to one of our first projects, Worlds Beyond the Grave, a comic we did, and we kind of used a shot from it to kind of eke it in as an Easter egg for those who have read our old comic book. But overall, it's looking really good. There's a bunch more of these scenes that I'll be animating over time in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll have some more information on what we're actually building for you guys in the coming days. And yeah, if you really want to get involved, if you like what we're doing, you want to see this show get made, it's completely funded by NFT sales. And basically, we're crowdfunding using NFTs, where those NFTs that you own could actually be used in our expanded universe of animated shorts that we're building around our main storyline. And then, of course, our main show, which will consist of regular episodes like you would expect normally from a cartoon. All set in this kind of adult, crazy comedy world of Unicorn Detective Agency's kind of, I'd say, Rick and Morty smashed with Adventure Time kind of world. And through that, we're going to make our main storyline about Flynn and friends doing their investigation about the city and the dark secrets of the city, which lead them down this rabbit hole. And then, of course, all the animated shorts we're going to make with the NFT characters that we're releasing at the end of this month that will be fully animated and voice acted and made as little snippets from like a day in the life in the city of Unicornitopia, which is our not so fair city of Unicornitopia, I should say. Yeah, so if you want to learn more, check out our Discord. Our Discord is up on the screen, I believe. No, our Discord link is not up on the screen right now. Sorry about that. You can go to Twitter, find us as TwitchPixelAnim, as in animation, ANIM. That's our tag. You can get our Discord in there. Come and join us in Discord. That's where our giveaways will be. That's where all of our exclusives and behind the scenes will be. You can come meet all of us. The whole team is there. We are there to talk to you. We want you guys a part of this as we grow and moving forward for the future when we go into full production. It's all about building a community that helps grow a unique kind of cartoon universe together. So yeah, check us out all around the web. We're TwitchPixel on Instagram, TwitchPixel on Facebook, TwitchPixel on TikTok, TwitchPixelAnim on Twitter. And then all of our main stuff will happen in Discord if you want to be a part of our world. So yeah, it's been great talking to you guys. Great showing off a little bit of the work that we have coming down the pipeline. We have way more to go. We've already built all of our character turnarounds for all the characters for our pilot episode. We have all of the animatic pretty much ready to go. We have the storyboards done, the shot lists, like everything's ready to produce. We just need that income to buy back the time for our entire team of artists who all have regular jobs right now to pay their bills, who over the last 3 years have donated their time to making all this stuff for us before we even decided to launch to you guys, because we didn't want to come to the table with nothing. We wanted to come to the table with something substantial. So yeah, we can hit the ground running if we can launch this November, and we'll be able to make the show and our expanded universe with you guys. So make sure you find us around the web, follow us, share us, tell your friends about us, and hopefully we'll see you guys in Discord. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys soon. You want to say bye, Nat?
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.